8 out of 10. All right, welcome. This is the 7th episode of Any Last Words, featuring two friends of mine, Fish and Moon Unit. If you enjoy this content, please leave a like and hit subscribe so you can stay in tune with all the latest posts that I have coming out. Thank you.
He's definitely human. He claimed to have a chip in his hand. They x-rayed his hand. It was there. And after the interviews, at the end of the interviews, he was claiming that somebody was following him. And then after the interviews, they found a body. They don't know if it was his, but he also had like no identification of any kind. So they found a body in that park with his hand cut off. And it was burnt. The body was burnt. Forgot to add that.
That's pretty abrupt. I tend to think a lot of things are scripted for a distraction. Whether it be
Yes,
power control.
Like the whole interview could be scripted and shit.
So that's why I do take interest in things like this now, but I'm trying to condition myself to just see through that and
take it with a grain of salt.
Not attached to it. You know, in that way, I can question it, and I can find myself going back down the same rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But that's what it wants you to do.
I don't know.
We're doing.
I'd like to know why that guy's blood doesn't match any lineage, though.
What was that?
So I would like to know why that guy's blood doesn't match any lineage.
Yeah, he's reptilian. No. That bastard wasn't reptilian worth.
And just the things that he claimed, like his blood work kind of confirmed some of it. So like overpollution of heavy minerals and shit.
Proved what exactly?
Well, he claims that it's like severely polluted and like there's a lot of toxic heavy minerals in a lot of shit. And in his blood work, yeah, it's like way higher than it should be in anybody.
You know, with enough fucked up shit, that one doesn't. I don't know. I'm not gonna turn.
Absorb those heavy minerals into your blood.
Yeah, like I know. So I'm. You know, it's like it's something fucked up happened, and you're just gonna be looking for this or that. But that is part of this. So, what do you think your interpretation is?
My interpretation?
Yeah. So you really think?
Oh, I'm entirely okay. Based off of what I know and previous experiences with media, I do not believe it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what stands out to you
from watching it?
Yeah, I mean, what gave you that conclusion?
Just based off of what media is today is where I base that conclusion from.
So you already came into it with knowing that I can't have a bias, and you already see past what they provide as truth, and you realize it's like smoke and mirrors. Like
before I see it, somebody else sees it. If I was the one interviewing the dude, then I'd probably have a different opinion.
Yeah, but a lot of people just like you would watch that and absorb it and think everything happened the way that it did, and not even have really a problem with it. They wouldn't be freaked out or anything. They would just be like, oh, okay.
If it was true and he was a time traveler, why would they let the public see that?
Because it's a bunch of bullshit. Whoops. No, it is. I think you got that one. I mean, believe in what you want. I just wouldn't waste my time with that one. So we got a couple of bangers on here. Let's get into the flat Earth. Yeah, man. I want you to go first on this. What do you think of the communities? Share your thoughts on what
like I said before, it's been a large part of the 1800s was trying to prove that it's not flat.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the like boats going all the way around the world and all the planes and shit that travel. There's also satellites that orbit the Earth. Like, does it just go to one end of the Earth and because it's flat, then it just stops and comes?
Well,
I highly doubt that. That's also like what creates gravity.
Now we're getting there. Now my man is questioning gravity was a theory, man. See, what is gravity?
Not only that, I flew to Hawaii in a plane, and when I looked out of the window in the ocean, I saw the horizon, and the horizon wasn't fucking flat. It was rounded like the globe. If the world was flat, I'd be able to see where you are right now.
We can't see that far.
No, but I mean, I could with a telescope or something, but you can't
Well,
because the Earth
no.
tapers away because it's round.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So you believe full on? You just said it's round, and I'm in the same boat. I'm not sitting here. I'm just open to. I find this whole thing fascinating. I'm open to countering it. I kind of want to get in their shoes. Like, what are these people really? What do they see?
Yeah, but I mean, if
What
they
do they
believe
think?
that, why not believe it's on the back of a giant turtle?
I like that analogy because it kind of reminds me of this other concept of okay, maybe it's not a
Yeah, some
globe, but it's
people believed that at one point in time.
yes, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, we're on the back of a gorilla.
we're gonna
You know,
recede back so far, then we should start burning witches at the stake again.
there's the idea of like it being a globe type of thing cut in half. To me,
Cut
that
in half.
still doesn't really make because we just can't go down past a certain. Yeah, this is not. You know, that's not me. This is just what I've read and seen that people think that maybe that we don't
Why
know
hasn't
if
anybody reached the edge yet?
no one lived to tell. There is no edge. Who knows?
What's holding it all in?
I don't know.
That's my biggest question, actually, for the flat earthers. Like, how thick is it? That's what I want to know.
That's where I think like flat Earth. It could. The only way I could rationalize that is they're envisioning it as a flat plane. But again, I think there has to be some sort of obvious curvature. I'm not going to get into my thing, but I'm trying to defend these.
But on a flat earth, if I dug straight down, I would just fall through the bottom, I guess?
I
Because
was
gravity
trying
pulls
to
me in?
envision like a flat plane, and then you would be able to have depth there. You know, so it could go down, but it'd still be flat. You know what I'm saying? If you look back on it, it would look nothing like anything that we can see through a telescope. So that's where
Yeah, that's another thing.
I mean, unless we had just had this anomaly,
Yeah, well, we can see fucking everything, and everything's the fucking same. So I don't know if we're the anomaly.
I wouldn't say so, but that's something that humans would like like to believe. I'm again, it's just yeah, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around but I'm never. I will. I mean, speaking of moon unit, we're going to the moon.
Yeah, we've measured everything though. That's another thing I don't get. Don't get. When you lay the globe out, it's that weird M shape.
Well, what if it's something that we aren't meant to comprehend? We can use all the physics, the dimensions, video proof.
Because then
But
the universe would be
why are we still
black and white.
questioning?
Yeah, why are we questioning this? Of all the things.
Why is it? I mean, it's gonna. I don't know if
Like,
it's gonna end anytime
people
soon, man.
and satellites orbiting the Earth, and we're like, yeah, this shit's flat.
Because every map that I've ever seen is flat. Period.
Yeah, that's true. But a topographical map has lines indicating elevation. So
Yeah, the globe I grew up with begs to differ. You know.
Listening to it.
Hmm.
This conversation has hurt my brain just listening to it.
I'm sorry. It's not supposed to like make you feel smarter. In this case,
I could never understand flat earthers.
would you like to be a part of the conversation, Ash?
Sure, now I do, because I'd love to piss some flat earthers off. I don't
See, we were being kind of. I was trying to be gentle and almost understand that, but I can't. There's no reason for me to other than just be a devil advocate. Here, 3, 2, 1. You got the floor.
There was a convention of flat earthers, like, I don't know, 2016. They spent $20,000 on camera gear, floating gear, all of the gear they could say with quotation, I'm putting air quotations up, to prove that the Earth was flat. And you know what they did? They punched some holes in some fucking wood. They measured it out in, like, I don't know, a half-mile spans. They said, all right, if the Earth is flat, I should be able to keep my camera at 17 feet tall, see through a light at the end of the holes in the boards, a quarter or a half mile away, at 17 feet. So that means on one end there's 17-foot light, and at the other there's a 17-foot camera. There's holes drilled in, and all of the holes are sitting at exactly 17 feet. You know what fucking happened when they turned that light on? It wasn't 17 foot tall. is 17 foot tall on the other end. They had to raise it to 4 feet because the Earth is fucking curvature. It's a big ass globe. We've been to space. These guys are fucking morons.
Prove it.
And they 90% of those people that say they're flat earthers believe or say they're flat earthers for fucking attention, because everyone likes to look at an idiot. Just like back in the day when kings had a gesture, everyone likes to stare at a fucking moron that'll sit there and juggle their nuts in their fucking hand to make people laugh. That's all flat earthers are. They're a fucking joke. End of story.
All right.
This disproves the fucking flat earth. There's no fucking way.
I think
If the earth was flat and our water was continuously pouring off the sides of our planet, we'd have no more water.
you
How
have
does
a,
that work? Explain that one.
you got a little bit more steam. Let's just finish this out. I'm glad you're getting this off your chest, man. You sound like you just went ham on them.
Where's the water?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just falling. It just keeps
just-
going that direction.
If we put in the idea of gravity into falling water, there'd just be a giant ass fucking bubble of water underneath the flat surface of Earth, because there's no gravity in space, which would
There'd
recontract
be
it to
something
Earth.
even larger there. Yeah, so there'd have to be something even larger than Earth underneath Earth,
Hmm.
causing gravity on Earth, and that at that point, then gravity or Earth would crash into whatever the fuck that is.
Exactly. So gravitational pull is via mass. And the reason Earth is staying where it's at is because it's actually not staying where it's at. It's actually being pulled closer to the sun every time we loop. Very small, you don't have to worry about being sucked into the Earth, flat earthers, because you guys will believe anything. What I'm saying is, like, the idea of flat Earth could be disproved by so many things. One, the whole water theory, where the fuck is our water going if it's just pouring off the edges? Two, the idea of a spherical planet, the momentum of us turning around and spinning mid-space, also revolving, keeps our water in place. The moon changing our tides, how the fuck does that happen? Where does our moon go? It just goes underneath the planet? Explain why China can see the moon and I can't see the moon here, like, explain the sun rising on one side of the planet and coming up the other. It just goes underneath it? I don't know. These guys seem like morons. Anybody flat earther or wise is just...
We need a true flat earther to come in here and actually represent their case, because I feel like they could come back with some shit that, whether it be right or wrong, I know that these people would probably stand their ground.
Sides, and there's just people on the bottom too.
What if our whole mind and perspective is just fucked, and what we
Chrissy,
see
where-
is
where
not
is this
true?
fucking real? You
The
have
way-
no proof that this is real at all right now.
This is where I like to go. I mean, these are fun, right, to talk about in a sense. This one's a little bit out there, even, I mean, it's not too out there. It's just...
As long as ain't flat earther out there, then I don't see...
But my thinking is that we just... God, having the ability to think past all of this shit. What if none of this matters? We can think about the physics and how things work and the science behind everything, and give us a who, what, when, and where, and why. That's not going to possibly carry over into anything past this life. And what if you're here for something greater than just falling victim? I'm not saying we're in an endless search. Man here is destined to question.
Well, if you are born and raised with religious beliefs like I am, you believe in God, and God gave you the ability to think and be free of your own choice, which is what I believe. I'm not saying it's what you guys need to believe, but I believe I was given the ability to think, to question, to wonder, and I was also given the ability to believe in my faith. And that's why it's called faith, not belief, because you have to have faith in it being there, not, well, I mean, faith and belief, I guess, are the reason it's called faith and not...
It's kind of synonymous with each other, is what you're saying. I believe what you're saying is... Because I grew up Christian, and that's all I thought. There wasn't... I didn't question at it till about 13 for me.
Religion is what makes religion religion.
For me, it was so comforting just knowing that there was a God and I could pray to.
Yeah,
and it worked for me for quite a while, and it was a nice foundation, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, and especially questioning like religion itself is completely understandable, because I question religion all the time. In fact, I've gone into most religions, Buddha, the Muslim religion, a lot of the religions that we think are different religions a lot of them branch off from Christianity.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are aligned on the same ideas, and I also believe that, in my eyes, when I see Buddhism, I don't follow it in the traditional sense, but I take a lot of the core values out of it and my essence of faith. I look at this different than a religion to me. It's more like principle values, and you have a faith and that there is a ability to have a reoccurring energy. Your source is infinite and it comes from something greater, and you can find peace beyond the chatter of the mind and the everyday pain that we're destined here.
I'm not gonna lie, I tapped out, bro. My mind is not where it needs to be right now.
I was muted.
That's so a shame. I just spit vocal cords.
Yeah, I was listening. I was trying to talk to you. I was saying organized religion's a bit different though than like religion. And I
Of
think there's
course.
like you're saying like faith and stuff, and yeah, believe in what you want. But if we look at organized religion and like what that is done, I think that's a completely different thing.
It is. That's exactly why I moved away from it. For a while, I became agnostic. And then
Yeah.
I started to pull some things from Buddhism. And sure, I'm by no means someone that you want to be preaching about Buddhism. That is in the name. But I can't go wrong with the values that they preach. And it helps align myself. You know, it's a guidance. I don't worship like that. But I believe that there's a higher power, higher source. And I'm always questioning on my, journey to just becoming a better version of myself, whatever that is, in the eyes of something that we honestly don't know. We're just trying to pick up the clues, do right from wrong, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
All very
concepts of right and
subjective.
wrong. Very subjective, yeah.
Now, Ash, the last time we did this, can you go easy on this one? Because
I'll probably tab out on this one if you're asking me that.
well, we did this before, and I don't have the energy right now, to be honest with you. And it's just the moon landing, right? We did that, and you can go school my ass with your facts, dude. But before, and honestly, I don't even want to debate you. Okay,
All right.
there's no debate here. Okay,
Yeah,
if you can just, accept, and I will hear your. You don't have to
like
go.
I said, your opinion is your own.
That's
my
why
facts
it's
are my facts, yeah.
your words. That's what the whole point is, man. Be yourself, and
What's that
but
saying?
just because it got heated, I'm gonna let Moon Unit here. He's gonna be
I think there's a
the
saying, right? The opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
yeah. Everyone's an asshole, man. No, but I think I asked him briefly. I'm pretty sure he is on the side that I am, but most of my life, that was one of my greatest. It wasn't like a fantasy, but the idea that we went there, and then I took psychedelics. No, but I began questioning things, getting older, and do I like most things? I'm not really concrete on a lot of. I think it's just like a free flowing thing. I'd rather not be attached to these one-sided ideas. Some things are core to your morality, whatever that may be to you, but or as being. But an idea like us landing on the moon, I'm not super one-sided. But
Yeah, I can agree with that.
as of right now, I would have to say I don't think we landed there, and for majority of people, they're not gonna accept that. Then it's gonna be a whole bunch, and rightfully so.
I just want to know how I can take a telescope out there and see the United States flag on the moon. Can we teleport that bitch there?
Well, show me the picture.
Dude, I'm gonna buy an expensive ass telescope just to send you a picture of me looking at that flag.
You don't think a drone has been up there?
So wait, we can send a drone, but we can't send a human to the moon?
Yeah, exactly.
How does that work?
That's exactly why we do that all the time now.
how does that
How does a
work?
drone go on Mars right now?
Because
We don't
a
have a
drone-
human.
Because
What?
a drone doesn't have a lifespan.
Yeah,
Dude,
the drone
look at
doesn't have
how
to come
long.
back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at the time that it takes to get to Mars. There's a reason we haven't made it to Mars. The time between there and the moon is still a comparable time. Like, the ISS is a floating space station that is just sitting there, and there are, like, trips within 6 months where they change people out of this, and they're consistently live streaming themselves in space.
Maybe they did go there, but I think what we were presented on television. My parents got to watch it, and you know, it was that long
And you know what?
ago. And
Maybe that was faked, but I guarantee you, Buddha, in the lifetimes that we have lived, people have touched the moon.
I'm not
It's
taking
just,
that completely out of the question. I just,
and I
when
know
I
you're
say
not.
the moon landing is fake, I believe that most of what we're presented, as far as manipulation and control, especially, those subjects are highly, like, you know, malleable.
Like moon landing specifically, given the time period and what was going on in the world, it makes sense to fake that shit.
I think
Actually, it doesn't.
it was
It
at the
was.
peak of how, like, Hollywood was just starting to blow up. I'm gonna
Well,
go down
see,
a crazy alley with that, but yes, I
well,
think
you
that
guys are right, but like during the time period, the advanced tools that you would need to, the advanced camera equipment you would need to just frame half of what they did is nearly
I
impossible
think
for
that's
this point in time
more
it was.
easy. And that's more easy. That's easier for them to perform that type of
I think
entertainment.
so. They could
Yes,
just put it in a closed box with a camera in it. You know.
I think they could
Just-
fake it better than
Okay.
they could actually do it. What do you think's harder, actually going to the fucking moon or making it seem like you went to the fucking moon?
Oh, going
Actually
to the
going to
fucking
way
moon,
fucking harder.
definitely going. But what I'm saying, actually, I take it back.
No,
Faking it would be a hell of a lot harder because one,
you don't think we could fake that?
okay, how the hell? I'm just curious because vacuum technology wasn't a huge thing at all and still isn't. There's only one known vacuum chamber that can create a 0G effect without motion, and it's owned by NASA and it was made in like 2007.
Not a
It is
real
almost-
space agency. Kidding. I'll let you finish.
How the fuck would they have made a 20-foot room? That's the minimal size you would need to even get close to framing this. Would they do the 0G room, the footprints,
The fact that they can
space,
replicate a lot of what we see on the ISS and in space to this day. Okay.
I could think of like a few ways that
Just-
you could replicate the anti-gravity thing.
How?
Well, one, what if I just put a green bungee cord on your back, and then every time you jump,
No,
it just absorbs
you could-
some of your weight. So
Did-
now you're
did-
slightly less weight.
Detecting a green screen would have been too easy. You can pull green screen software out and see if there was a chroma filter used on any camera. That would have been
Okay, well,
disproven forever ago.
Before
Same with
the
blue screen.
anti-gravity chamber, they used planes, and it's just in a free fall is how you achieve anti-gravity.
Okay,
like
so the free falling method would be close to impossible to replicate with the soil that they used. If you want to say they did frame this, the soil would have also been free falling and would have displaced itself from the ground. Free falling also, you have like a 15-second to 30-second 0G moment, even at peak fall. It's impossible to replicate in a plane.
I'm gonna take us right there, Ash. I think you stated it. Are we good? What was your last peak fall? Let's talk. I'll let you finish because it's any last words, and then we'll
So,
go
wait,
in the next one.
What am I finishing?
You said something about peak fall, bro. I want you to finish
Oh,
your thing.
Like peak falling, okay, so when you're in air and your plane is at its peak and you start falling, that's the peak of the fall. As you start falling, that's the exact moment when 0G is hit, zero gravity. And even then, a plane fall 0G is fake. There's still gravity being applied to the body. It's just as close as we can get to 0G without being in 0G. And even in space, there's still gravity because things still get pulled around. There's absolutely no such thing as 0G. But I mean,
Not that we
get
know
close
of.
to 0G in space. But what I'm saying is, it would be at the time, it was more likely that the moon landing took place than they had the equipment to fake it. Nowadays, with our CGI equipment and the ability to fully replicate things, I think it would be easy as hell to replicate the moon landing. But back then, absolutely not.
But you
Yeah,
think
I
it was
think-
easier for them to go land on the fucking moon back then?
I think we could easily fake it. If we can make an atom bomb at the same time, we can fucking fake
Yep.
that shit.
I'm just gonna leave it with how did
Obviously,
Nixon
engineers
make a phone
but we
call?
can't do that.
How did Nixon make a phone call to the men that landed on the moon?
So, the radio systems were
He contact-
continuously evolving. Yeah. No, so radio systems were continuously and have been continuously growing. Even now, there's still 5G. We're just now getting into 5G. Eventually, we'll get into 6G, 7G, and then maybe Ultra G or whatever. Like, radio contacting is evolving, and there's certain interruptions. Like, the second they broke the atmosphere, there was a period of time where they couldn't hear shit. They couldn't do anything. because everything was being distorted.
Yeah.
Like,
Let me stop you right there. Like, so you think that this is like you think we had this back in the 60s? The ability for Nixon to go on television and say, "Wow, what a great job you've done. You're doing it, America." He's live streaming a telephone fucking call. We don't even have fucking smartphones out yet. I could believe that maybe something's just, it's just strange to me, man. I don't know how Nixon is making a phone call. We have the technology to do that, but we don't have the technology to fake it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've got laser beams in space that can shoot a missile out of the fucking air while it's going Mach 6.
Got a nuke that could blow everyone the fuck up, you know? I don't know.
That's a precise one-piece target moving at, 800 miles an hour.
We'll talk about direct energy weapons another time. That would be a good
topic. There's nuclear-powered submarines at the same time period.
Oh, dude, there's a charts that show. I mean, obviously not for the public, but there are charts that, all countries have where they're on-spot nuclear submarines, because we all have one in water right now.
Yeah, constantly. Constantly.
They're always revolving. We have nuclear on base sites. We might have signed treaties saying we won't nuke a motherfucker, but honestly, when a button gets pushed, somebody else is gonna push one too.
All right, we're diverting. I wanted to talk about, well, it's on my mind. 9/11, because he mentioned it.
I'm out of this one.
Are we out? All right.
I'm out of this one.
I'm not.
I'm gonna stay here.
You want to talk about it?
I'm out of this one.
Okay, you go first.
Fuck, man. We'll go.
Was it fake or real?
Fake, in a sense. I believe that we were in on it as a country.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's one of the most horrific things. But for us to not have the knowledge that this was coming, and it gave us a complete chance to go to war for monetary benefit, I think it's a disgrace. I think there's too many fucked up things that went on that day, the hijacking and all of that. I just believe that this was something that had evil kind of written all over it, and America is part to blame, because we ended up going and getting everyone riled up and going to war on something that we had no business. It wasn't even the right dude. It wasn't the right area, you know. And I just think that it just, the whole hijacking thing. How do we let that happen?
Yeah, so you're looking at it from like a political perspective and saying that it's fake. And like whenever I see it, I look at it from like a I don't fucking know, like a literal sense, as in like the cross beams of the building were sheared at like 44 degrees, just like demolitions teams use on those buildings. Yeah. They collapsed inwards on the two city blocks. They started collapsing from below the explosions. Like,
I support you with that, but my opinion on this isn't really one-dimensional. That was just, you're right, political side. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. I also think that there might have been a bomb planted in either the plane or underneath the building. And yes, I think there might have been something more than just the plane actually going in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, I knew we weren't too misaligned there. That's happened as it is. We got attacked. This is something that just rubs me the wrong way with that. And maybe I'll pull up some pictures or a video clip or two that when I'm in the right mind here, we will, I'll have that up just to shine a little bit of dark light all over this subject. It's touchy. This is canceled right here. Can't be doing this no more. Nah. There's only about, I need someone like fact check me so I don't get, I'm just going to go off the top of my head. There wasn't enough of people. So there was like 60 people with cameras on that day during downtown where they could take. It might have been more, maybe 100. Let's just say it's no more than a couple hundred, okay? My mind is, and at the time, it wasn't, you didn't have your phone with a camera on it. So people had to, but it's New York, right? There's only so much footage of all of this, and it's just very strange that we can't get, other than the fact that, you know, the first plane came in, and then they started filming it and broadcasting it everywhere.
And how did this terrorist know how to fly this plane?
So they were trained specifically to do
So
this.
accurate.
Yes, they all had a license. So they had no prior experience, from what I learned. That's just going based on off the knowledge that you can receive. I don't
They
know
had
if
no
it's
pilot.
the truth, but yes.
So they spent 250 hours in a plane to go crash into the side of a building.
Yes, that was their job. Shit. Even my dad was questioning, how do they get these box cutters on here, these weapons? You know,
Because if that's going to stop a plane full of people.
But they use these box cutters to stab most of the, victims at the start to scare them. Like, you can't do jack shit. So where you grab your little pamphlet, there's these box cutters sitting right in front of you.
I'll beat you with a laptop. I don't know.
Well, there is one plane that avoided. I believe it was either going to like D.C. or towards the White House. I would have to. My picture will represent it when my mind gets it. But they avoided the whole crash. Supposedly, they were able to break into the actual room where they're, the other
Cabin,
pilots, where they had been stabbed. The people flying the plane, and they busted through with like one of those carts that they roll out your food and shit. And because one guy made up a plan to just, all right, we're gonna go fucking break in there. And this is after several people had just been stabbed. All these
fire extinguisher.
Yeah, so they were able to stop them from going to their destination, but obviously the plane went down. There's only one video out there. Let me get my facts right here. So,
Like, all I'm saying is that one dude's threatening 100 dudes with box cutters.
these people were also skilled in non-lethal combat. So they were trained to take on multiple people. Everyone got. I know, it's rightful to question it. That's why at least one of the planes, people did take a stand. But most of them, it was too late. You see people getting stabbed, you just... they bust right through the cabin.
You make me want to start flying with a parachute. That's my carry-on.
Yeah, man. I mean, box cutter. God damn. That shit's, I don't know.
Do you remember when 3D printers came out and that guy 3D printed a gun?
Oh, when it first came out, yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. Time has changed. Your food's gonna be 3D printed.
Not.
Soon enough.
It's gonna be some shitty food.
Yeah. Same thing with your car, that you'll have no choice.
Yeah, well,
It'll benefit the environment, though.
not in my lifetime. That won't happen. At least not right.
I know, I'm being drastic. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. It's like.
Nah, but I
My
do
guy
think
does
that could
very
happen
good. Like a
down the
very
line.
quality ingredient.
I mean, I take nothing out of the realm of possibility. I like to at least glance at it, analyze it. If it doesn't resonate with me, I at least addressed it, and I just leave it. Try and keep moving forward. Till what's that?
I said I think there's too much shit in our food. If I could, I would grow and
They want to
eat all
control
my own-
everything.
my own food.
Oh, I wish I had those types of skills. Something I kind of want to do at some point in my life is at least not be 100% dependent on the current system, and maybe get back to human nature's roots, which is something that I know
Yeah.
very little about, but I know
Plants
that
is
it's
just hard,
important.
especially up here. Like I can't farm plants all year round.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. That's how most of our generations before us thrived. It doesn't matter if Yeah, it's cold in the winter. Shit don't grow. You know, that type of
Yeah, you
shit.
gotta store that shit.
But that's how you get
Also, like a
your
very large
food.
fan of survival and survival facts and like all that shit. I could go on for that for hours.
Oh, I started binge watching that show Alone.
Alone, yeah, it's good.
I really enjoyed that, and I'm someone that's pretty opposite of. I don't have much camping experience, but
I'll see, like I honestly think that I could do that.
I think a lot of people do. They have a lot of people trying to contest for that.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience in that though, and I've done some of those things.
Yeah, it's what have you done? Have you done any you been in the bush?
Oh yeah, I've had a rifle in my hands since I was
Yup.
like 6
Yo,
when I
bush.
shot my first animal. That's when I learned how to like skin an animal.
All
I've
right.
spear hunted rabbits. I can bow hunt. I know how to make arrows and shit. I probably wouldn't be able to make a very good bow, not the first time anyway. I know techniques and how to do it. It's just actually doing it. I'm better off just with a spear. I can set multiple different kinds of traps. I know where to get water from, how to filter stuff, like lots of stuff. What plants to use for what, what's poisonous, what's not poisonous. I wish I knew more on that subject.
That's why I loved watching the show, just so I could
Yeah,
try and.
I know
I
how
mean,
to
I'm
make
never gonna be in
tutorials
those
on
shoes,
certain
but
things.
getting some sort of appreciation and knowledge, just kind of getting their wisdom from what
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
going
that's
through,
what I
because they
meant.
never
Never
come
thought
out
of.
the same,
Yeah,
and
trying
they
to build
rely on
something.
things that you would never think of as a normal day to day human, but they've been doing it their whole lives. You know.
Yeah.
So how long? You're perfect person to ask for this. So on that type of format, there's 10 people. You got 10 items. Do you think you're gonna last? I'm gonna give you a place, okay?
Okay. It really depends on where it is.
I
If you
mean,
drop me in the desert, I'm dead.
well, now I'm gonna do desert, dude. Come on, you shouldn't have said that.
Well, then I'm dead. Maybe.
Well, I don't think there's a reason they don't do that too much. You know,
Yeah.
I would just place you in like Vancouver,
Fuck yeah, that's sweet.
one of those little islands there, somewhere
Yeah,
nice
that
and
goes along
secluded. But I want you smack dab in the middle of winter. Usually
smack
they
dab
let
in the
them,
winter when
yeah,
it's
they
actually
let them
dry.
get all set up and shit. I would get there like maybe not smack dab, about 2 weeks before, you know.
Okay,
And
yeah. You're gonna give me some setup time then?
yeah, so we'll give you two
Hopefully it's
weeks.
not that
So it's
bad on
getting
the road.
colder, but you could actually get down your first, maybe not your main fort, but
Yeah, winter,
your first
in my
build.
opinion, it's not that bad on the coast. Not nearly like as cold as to what I'm used to.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make sure it's negative with winds like 50 miles per hour.
Well, you can't keep me in the wind because there's a thing called shelter.
So you're gonna shelter. We didn't address. You familiar with building your own shelter
I
using like a
am
tarp
actually.
and
And when
logs?
I go camping, I actually try and build my own shelter and use that. If I need to use a tent, like I'll bring one.
That's the way I've done it, and I've only done that a few times. So I'm just trying to see if you had, because I
Oh
find
yeah,
that fascinating how these people have all
yeah.
this experience and literally
And I've
making
experimented with like
log
multiple different
cabins.
kinds. Yeah, I know.
I think my Discord just had a heart attack. Maybe you did.
How to make a log cabin too. And like,
Your Discord's bugging.
can you hear me
Nope.
now?
Verizon
Go ahead.
commercial. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. I've been fucking with you. Not the whole time, but it's working.
Okay.
No, that was odd. I'm getting
Oh,
good at editing things. And we've just been rattling the can right here for about
yeah, the log
45
cabin.
minutes.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah, we'll get right back on this log cabin.
Yeah,
I would like to
yeah.
try
But the
that,
bottom bit,
but
you want to char it, about like a centimeter of char on the outside by just throwing it in a big ass fire, because charcoal is hydrophobic and it'll stop it from absorbing moisture and molding and rotting and shit.
yeah, these people like smoking their meat. They build like another little fortress for it.
Yeah,
That
yeah, because
shit's
animals will get it. Yeah.
yeah. So, well, it's just smart to you know keep that meat lasting longer. They're able to
Yeah, and you keep it
maximize
away from
everything that they're
creatures.
getting. They're not going hungry.
Yeah, and there's certain types of meat that like you can't base your diet off of.
hmm I
Like fixing
just
the leak.
watched so many people. I mean, you've never ate a mouse or a rat. You haven't been in those. Okay,
We're eating a squirrel though, and a
maybe
rabbit.
for $500,000 I would, but no. I was just. It's interesting what they go through. You become human almost. If that's as corny as it sounds, it's the organic way that we've lived for most of our life. It's not been through, just saying, oh, where did you get your meal from? Fucking McDonald's. Oh, I went to Kroger and bought their meat there. You go and
Yeah, see, like most
kill
of my
that
meat,
animal
I
and you
get from
prepare it.
family farm or hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the meat I get apart from fish, and I like fishing. I'll go do that too.
I would like to. I mean, that show just makes me want to get out more because I realized how. I mean, you can call it sheltered, but just whatever. I did not get out there and do that
It makes me want
much.
to do it for the same reason that I joined the military and did basic training and a couple other things just to prove to myself that I could.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know so many survival tools. Especially, oh yeah, you put me in Vancouver in the wintertime.
Yeah, so I want you
So,
to last 100 days for $1 million.
yeah,
Now, 100
yeah.
days, you're just like, oh shit. I was gonna go with the standard, but I was thinking, all right, 100 days from. I don't know, dude. I don't think you're doing the 100.
I could do 100.
All right, we can make that the max, but I'm thinking,
Give it. If I don't have fire within the first like day or two, then probably not.
all right, it's all scenario. So you're trying to go for 100 days, okay?
Yeah, you put me on an island in Vancouver in the middle of the winter though, so it's gonna be real wet.
Yeah. So what's your primary food supply there?
Primary food supply.
Yeah, you're
It'll
gonna be
have to be
fishing.
whatever I can
Cabbage.
trap and shit. Yeah, but I would say I'm gonna go
Are
for
you
fishing. I
are
know
you
some of
experienced
it.
with trapping?
Pardon me.
Yeah. Are you experienced with trapping things like setting up
Yeah,
traps?
and tracking as well.
You gonna rely on the bow and arrow?
No, probably not. I
Okay.
don't even know if I would bother crafting a bow and arrow.
You could bring one.
I could, but that's items.
Exactly. So we should probably get to those. What would be some of
Each
those
arrow
items?
is an item.
Hmm. What items?
Each arrow is an item.
Yeah, I know. I know. So they'll have like three, and if they lose them, they're fucked.
Yep.
So you would just bring a tarp, right? Let's start you off there. Probably a knife, maybe a hatchet.
I think they're all given a tarp.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it should be. My God.
Yeah, they all get given a tarp. I think.
Well, good for them. What would be a couple of your items?
What am I gonna bring? An axe, like without question.
You gonna bring a
I
gill
have
net?
a machete that I'd probably bring, and it's got a saw on the back of it.
Okay.
It actually works really well for sawing, so those would be my blades more than likely.
Up in a lot of wood.
Uh, no, I'd still bring one more knife. Flint and steel.
All right, you're confident in that? Like, you lose that, and you know how to make a fire naturally.
I do, yeah.
Because I've watched people on that. Just
Yeah,
they come
it's
there
a
and
fucking
they get fucked over by it.
I have done it before, but it is like really fucking hard. I did it once, and it's a fucking bitch. And if I don't have like the right conditions, there's a good chance it's not gonna work.
Sure.
Yeah, I know 1, 2, 3 different ways to do that to make a friction fire.
I've ate deer meat. I want to say venison. Once or
What?
twice. Deer meat. I think you get
Oh,
a
I've eaten
deer.
all kinds of meat like that.
And that was damn delicious. But out there, I think you would just be getting. I mean, would you just be the type to just get the bear to go away? Because that's what you're going to be possibly going up against. You have any?
Bear?
Yeah, you ever had any contact with bear up and close?
Oh, lots of bears.
All right. What
Run
types of
into tons and tons of bears.
bears, and what was your reaction?
A shit ton of black bears, and well, I mean, you should react a certain way if you know what you're doing. Don't fucking run away. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I was wondering if you did something like you made a noise or you just stood your ground.
No, generally I just kind of like see it and just walk the other way. Keep your eye on it.
Okay, so you've ran
Don't
in
walk.
and you didn't get. You just minded your own business. They never had like a cub with them.
I've seen one with a cub, yeah, and you just keep your fucking distance.
Yeah, because that's when, or if they're hungry, I think they'll probably just react out of, that pure instinct to just
Yeah,
come after your ass. But you
yeah,
can't be
they might,
fucking with
but
the
even
cubs.
then, like you're just so much work, they're probably gonna go after something else. Most bears are like scavenging most of the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, so are you in this case. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
you
I've
could
seen
be,
lots of bears. I've like within 10 feet of a black bear.
and that was it, man. Would you shoot it? You're gonna say
Close
yes.
enough.
You're gonna say
Like
yeah. If
close
you
what?
had to,
If
right?
I had to shoot,
Yeah, exactly. Because you
well,
don't
if I
need.
have, yeah,
Other than that, you just mind your own damn business.
yeah, I'm not gonna like go out of my way to like kill it in cold blood.
You deal with cold temperatures good then? You could handle that?
I live in Canada, man.
Yeah, but in a tent? Not even
Yeah,
a tent.
if you design
Maybe,
your structure properly, you can trap or like resonate a lot of heat.
yeah, would you have a fire inside of your place?
I don't know, maybe depends on the materials I have around me.
Yeah. How important would be a shelter?
Oh, extremely important. I'm gonna die without it.
No, are you working on the shelter right away, or are you just trying to get your food? So you would with the winter
Yeah,
coming
I
up,
would
I understand the shelter.
scout out an area that I think is like suitable for me, and then I would build.
Mhm.
Depends on like what time of the day I get there at, but I would build my shitty little shelter to like protect me enough, and then I'd just start on fire right away. I'm not eating the first night, maybe, but probably not even the second day or two either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if you lose about 30 pounds? Could you handle that within a little over a month? Say you're
A
down
lot of the
34
people that
pounds.
go on the show, they
They bulk.
purposely do that. They like pack on a shit ton of weight.
Yeah, smart ones. Because I think that's they force feed themselves, put on that weight. Some of them was probably just easier than others, and they were already fat. Some people did it intentionally, just so they could withstand, because they know it's like a marathon, not a sprint. The more fat you got, good to
I
go.
take wire as another one of my metal wire. Is another one of my items.
You don't want any type of gill net.
I'm not done picking my items yet, and no, I probably wouldn't pick a gill net either because I could make one.
I was wondering if you're gonna incorporate, the materials to make shit with. So I'll let you go. Think about it.
Well, yeah, that's why I take the wire for like snares and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Snares I can fasten logs together and stuff, but I probably wouldn't do that either. I would just use leverage, like notching the wood and stuff to keep everything in place.
Now I've seen people make boats. Would you ever consider doing that? Or would you, like, in the middle of, not quite
On that
middle of
island?
winter? Yeah, let's just say that
Not on
there's.
that island. No, probably not. If it was a lake, yeah, sure, I might build a boat if I thought that it would benefit me somehow.
Yeah, I mean that's a good answer. But it takes a while to build that. Energy resources risk going out there. Watch some guy fall off one, and he was super experienced and all this shit, and he just would have had hypothermia. So we
Yeah,
had to
into the
call it.
ocean. Like I don't fuck with the ocean.
I keep my ass on land. I wouldn't last damn bit long. All right,
I'd
so you
rather
got
just
like 4 or 5 items though, right? Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. All right. All right. Obviously,
Probably
you
take a
get
sharp tank.
a what now?
Probably take a whetstone.
Whetstone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why is that?
So I can sharpen my tools. I'm gonna be using them all the time.
Yeah, that's smart. Would you ever consider like making shit while you're there, or are you just gonna kind of go with the flow? Some people get.
What do you mean by that?
You could make all kinds of things. You can make your cabin into like a functional, like where you get your water from. You just collect it with a bucket.
Oh yeah, I'd be constantly working on it and doing
Would
stuff
you?
like that.
Yeah, I'm saying, would you give yourself projects to do? Whether or not
Oh
they're
yeah.
super efficient, it's just something to.
Well, I'd have like a priority list and then like a secondary list of stuff that I just want to do.
Yeah, food, water.
And, like you get an idea in your head, you know, you might want to just go do it.
Now, the biggest thing, would you feel like a struggle of being alone for that amount of time? Being away
Yeah, I
from
want to
everyone
say
that you
no,
know?
but human psychology, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, there's a breaking point.
Yeah, so maybe I can befriend an animal or something and talk to that.
Yeah, they'll just label you as crazy at that point, unfortunately. But if you came back and you're like, I can talk to fucking animals now.
Not like talk to animals, I would just talk to it.
No, this guy has full blown, yeah, his fucking
Yeah,
alpaca.
I'm not gonna be able to understand them or anything.
Maybe you started making up a language, and then we're getting into serious waters.
That'd be too long, I think.
Shit, what's time
Do
at
you
that
want me
point?
to document it like on the show? Because then I have to talk to the camera and stuff.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. That's
And
the
once
whole
a week
point.
they go and check on them, don't they?
Yeah, they have to do a medical checkup on them. And that's where a lot of them that are stubborn warriors get the boot.
Yep.
And, it sucks, but at the same time, I get it. Personally, there's a dark side of me that I don't actually wish this upon people, but it would be kind of sick if these people did like a Hunger Games. I know. I'm kidding. We don't need to go there in the world, but I
Well,
do
on
want to
that,
see one get attacked by a bear. I'm
I
not
want to see
saying
the
die.
gladiator game.
What's that?
I said on that controversial topic, I want to see the gladiator games again.
The gladiator game. Well, we've done enough right here. I'm gonna scavenge something out of this. Do you have any last words?
Not really.
Perfect.